More calls waiting, so let's jump right into them. We have Alan who wants to discuss Christian nationalism. Alan, he, him from Arizona. Go ahead. What would you like to talk about?
Just to clarify, so for this conversation, we're just going to go ahead. I'll grant you that the most mythical understanding of Christianity is a myth, but it's the philosophical underpinnings of how a society should work. Okay. So
when you say should, I just want to define should before we move on, and then I want to hear your stance. When you say should, you're talking you're making a moral argument that, like, you really mean that
what's a moral? What's
to follow
mean?
it?
What's morals mean?
My question is, you use the word should. I'm asking, What do you mean by should? That
it ought to be. We follow the prescriptions in the biblical text.
Okay, so what does ought mean? Like, where are you getting ought? And this is going to be all JMike.
I'm happy with it being. I'm happy.
So, like, we ought to follow. We ought to follow the prescriptions in the biblical text.
I'm happy with ought being a semantic primitive, and that, like, you either just understand this concept of ought and should and mistake and things that you shouldn't have done. Like, I'm happy with granting all that.
Then it pulls out the next question.
Yeah.
What rules led to the conclusion of we ought to follow it?
No, it's the rules that come out of the ought. It's not that there's rules that precede the ought.
That's problematic. Go ahead, JMike.
I guess I don't understand. Like, you're saying it's not true, but we should still follow it. So there isn't a truth maker for the moral fact.
I never said it wasn't true.
You said it was myth. You said it was.
He said he would grant. He would grant that it's not true for the purposes of this argument.
Yeah. So, like, and just to clarify, so, like, we can read text all the time. Like, for example, you can read Harry Potter and get stuff out of it, and, like, we should follow. Like, hey, maybe I should follow that. And, like,
I understand that. That's literally where I was going. Was that if you're saying it and that's this kind of fictionalist sense, yes, somebody can make this stance dependent, subjective notion that I ought to follow that. Right now. The second,
so that's what I said on this argument.
I get that. The second someone else goes, I don't think I should follow that. And they go, why not? I don't know. There's some, like, brute psychological facts about me, genetics and things I didn't control, my environment and growing up that just make me go, yucky. I don't like that. That shouldn't occur. And then your argument's done, because what I'm trying to get to at the beginning is that if you're going to
grant my argument done.
I'm trying to elucidate that. If you just give me a second, right? If you at the outset you just go, okay, well, it's not, the view isn't true, so there isn't, like, a truth maker that makes those moral facts stance independently true, right? Like Yahweh or Jesus or Allah or whatever it might be, right? If there's nothing that is the truth maker for those propositions being true, then they're not stance independently true. All you are saying is, I think that everybody else should follow these rules, but you're not going to establish some stance independent. Like, I have a reason over and above reasons I have. Even if I think I shouldn't get the milk, I should get the fucking milk. I'm wrong about not eating milk. I should get the fucking milk because there's a fact about what I should and should not do. If your argument is just giving up on that,
you have a truth claim.
So hold on. I want you to repeat back what you think my concern is.
It's just preference. So, like, your preference has no moral responsibility over my preference. So, like,
I'm going to jump in with a clarification to make sure I understand, JMike. So here's my question to you. This is what I think we wanted to ask you, which is, you say we ought to. We're saying, why ought we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
What set of rules?
I understand, like, you guys are being.
No, real quick. This is super important. This is just super important. If you're just telling me at the beginning that Christianity is not true, then there's no Yahweh, right? There's nothing that makes the propositions true. They're called truth makers in philosophy, right? It's not like Yahweh doesn't exist, so he can't be a truth maker that makes some moral proposition true, right? So it can't be a moral fact. So all you have left is just, I think that we should all follow this stuff. And then all I have to say is, I don't fucking care about that because I have a different assessment. There's psychological facts facts about my brain that make me go, I don't want to do that. I don't think we should do that. And then the argument's over after that point, because what are you going to do? You would have to run some, like, internal critique on values I have. And I guarantee you're not going to be able to pull out Christianity out of the values that I have.
So Alan, Do you understand where we're coming from and what we're asking?
So I don't. There was a beep. Can you hear me?
We can. The reason you got a beep
Okay, no,
is
that's
you
fine.
kept
So, like, just to
interrupting, and we
clarify.
were trying to get to this point. So the question is,
Yeah.
Yahweh doesn't exist. It's just like your
Why-
opinion, man.
why ought we? Where are you getting the ought?
Like, you asked me a question, so like I'll clarify, right? So your preference.
Alan, just wait. Okay, let us finish the question. This is a long process. This is not TikTok back and forth 6-second things. We're trying to understand you so we can ask the question and then let you explain it. So our question to you is, absent Yahweh, absent God, if you're conceding that for the purposes of this thing, then why ought we follow the Bible, or for that purpose make any moral conclusion? So why ought we?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
the reason that I prefer it.
Okay.
That's okay. Well, your argument sucks. I don't prefer it. Done. Your argument's not going to establish that we should be Christian nationalists.
But like, we can get into it. But like, well, why? How is your argument better than mine?
I prefer that we not be Christian nationalist. Boom. I did the same thing you did. I just go.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Yeah. So there's nothing that has normative force over any agent to be part of that system. Do you not connect those dots? No one is going to feel the force that they ought do those things, buddy.
Do you have?
I understand. You were talking the whole time I said that. The reason it matters is for the same reason when I say I don't think we should have a Christian nationalist approach. All the other Christians that are going, is that just like your opinion? And I go, yeah, right. It's just my opinion. There's a way to perform that, right? I can get into their values and show that they don't actually want this thing. Now it's a hard thing to do, but I'm gonna have to like ask about their values and and then finally find something that goes, hey, this is contradictory to Christian values. It's gonna be much harder to do that with me. Right? Very hard to do that with me as somebody who like you don't have a roadmap for what my values even are, right? Whereas I can tell things that are contradictory in your own view that you value.
Okay, I want to level set and turn the mic over to Alan. So Alan, I'm going to level set here. Our current understanding of where we are in this conversation is we're going to assume for the purposes of this conversation there is no God. And you have asserted, if we're understanding you correctly, that we ought to institute some form of Christian nationalism or follow the Bible or however you want to do it, because when we asked why, it was because you like it, you wanted it. Is that correct? And if so,
yep.
Why should we follow it just because you like it?
Well, we can get into that. So that's what I was trying to get to. So like one thing that we need to do is change back the definition of property actually makes a foundational misstep that a lot of people, especially in the atheist community, has a problem with. So we need to get back to the ancient
it's just more
definition.
Hold on.
It's just more shoulds.
Hey, can you actually, let me make an argument and then we can talk.
I'm waiting for the argument. Go ahead.
They're like freaking out all the time because it's something wrong with you.
I'm sorry you're so unaware. I'm sorry you're so self-unaware. You don't realize you're just packing on more shoulds on top of the shoulds you haven't justified.
I think where he's getting, and I want to let him get there, I think he's getting to some sort of utilitarian argument that we should do it because following it is better for something. Is that your argument? That if we follow property law, biblical property law, things will be better. And if we follow the 10 Commandments, things will be better. Is that your argument?
So if you actually let me finish my argument, then we could start from there because we need to start.
Put a minute on that. We'll put a minute on the clock. Producers, throw the minute on there. I'll mute my mic, but just stop saying things that don't do the thing you're purporting to do.
I want to let you talk, Alan. Go ahead and tell me why. Now, I'm going to warn you, you dove right into a specific thing rather than talking generally. What the question we asked you was why we should do a thing because you want to. You started talking about property law in the Bible, but go ahead.
We can address that. So why are you better than I am? Or are we not living in a democracy where we should talk about our opinions and better opinions actually win out? Yes or no?
Questions are not arguments.
You've got 60. We put 60 seconds on the clock. Keep going. I want you to make your case.
Questions aren't arguments. Give propositions, statements.
So the first thing that we would need to do is change back to the fundamental understanding of property before the Enlightenment, which was it's a perspective change. So to start the argument, you have to understand that when we have property is not owned by anybody. When you have possession of something, you have duties and responsibilities to that property. Okay, and what happened in John Locke's, who's the one that started property rights, is the one that it's a perspective change where property has a duty to us to make us money or whatever it is. But we need to get back to the premises of that. When we have possession of something, we have duties and responsibilities to that.
So that's over your 60 seconds. I don't see, first of all, I disagree with that. Second of all, I don't see how that answers the question at all. Like, it's like I'm trying to be generous and understand where you're coming from. But the question was, why should we do something just because you like it?
Exactly.
And then you told me that because
not a democracy?
Will you please?
You're not making.
All right. Well, it's not a democracy here. I think you're very confused about the nature of this show. My argument is not that we should do what I want because I want it. I need you to understand that. I've muted him, obviously. This person's not got some issues.
We would try to find common values, which I probably fully represented, to show somebody like, hey, there's kind of an entailment here that you probably should care about these because you care about A, B, and C, and D seems to kind of follow from those things, right? Like you don't like me.
What I'm looking for.
You don't like me pushing you. I don't like you pushing me. We seem to care about well-being of each other, right? Or at least yourself. If I push your daughter, you wouldn't like that, right? So like we probably have common values we can extract from that. So it's not just this is my opinion, man. Building a secular humanistic society we care about the humans and what they have to say and their values and trying to to establish kind of common ground with what we have, right? Like you can't just do that out of thin air and go, this is what I think. You need to pull it. You need to have the conversation. But if your argument is just, this is what I think, that's not really going to fly, right?
Yeah, and we should clarify, Alan, you're dealing with a false dichotomy. When I say when I'm poking flaws or holes, what I perceive as holes in your argument, that is not the same as me saying, therefore we should do what I want. Right? You've multiple times you said, when I say, why should we just do something because you want it? And then you scream back at us, does that, well, why should we do something because you want it? That's not me making the argument. Okay. I don't make arguments that say, when people ask me, why should we do X in the government or whatever, I don't say because I want to. I give reasons. And that's what we're asking of you is reasons. So when we say the only reason you've given us so far to do this general thing of follow Christianity in our national government, the only reason you've cited in our over 10-minute call now is because I want it to be that way. And then when we asked for why we should care about what you want, you started talking about under different views of property law or morality, different entities have different duties depending on which way you look at it. And that doesn't, I don't know about you, JMike, that does not explain to me why we should do what Alan wants. Let's put it this way, Alan. If you were a politician saying, I want you to vote for my bill, why should we do what you want to do in your bill? When we make it Alan-topia and you get to propose a bill, why should we do what you want should we do what we want just because you say it's what you want? I guess that's my question. What are your thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, so I can go in because I believe it produces better results.
Okay, that's a great answer. Now, what results does it produce? This is where I was going with the utilitarianism, right? So what result does it produce, Christian nationalism as a whole, that is better, that is demonstrably better, that should convince people to do this thing?
Yeah, and I worry because better assumes...
Yeah, let Alan...
Yeah.
Like all you guys are doing is prattling. So like if you ask me a question, let me answer it. So like to start off with, I think that Christian family values are better than secular family values.
Okay, let's put a stop on that. That's a great
point.
The
question. Yeah.
So yeah. let's take it. That's your first go-to answer as to what's the better result. And you said, I think that family values from the following Christian is better than presumably anything else. So as Mike pointed out, you're kind of betting the question, but let's pull on that thread. What are the outcomes of what are Christian family values, first of all, and how is that why are those a better policy?
So like to clarify, so we can do that. So it should be a marriage between one man, one woman, and you should have kids. Are you gonna?
You should have kids. Okay.
Answer, or are you gonna like?
No,
are you gonna
just
keep on talking?
Well, no. Let's
hold on. I'm muting Alan. I'm muting Alan. Hold on, Mike. We got to give him some time here. I've asked him for an answer, and he was listing the answers, and I want to give him his fair shake. So he's just going
to list things that assume Christianity.
I know, but we got to let him list them so we can then ask him about them. So
he listed 3 that all assume Christianity's values.
So, well, that's his point. So, Mike, Alan, what I heard so far was restrict marriage to man and woman. You quote unquote should have children. What were the next ones?
Yeah, and a woman should prioritize having children.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Those are good 3. Let's start with those 3. Okay. Start with those 3. As Mike is pointing out, I'll hand it over to Mike. This is sort of just more assertions that these are good things. Why are those good things? So I'm going to ask Alan first and then turn it over to Mike. Alan, let's start with marriages between a man and a woman. Why is that a should? Why should we do that?
Because we should be having children.
That's not the question.
Hold on, no, stop.
No. You answered. It's our show. I'm going to turn over to Mike. Does that mean that people who are infertile cannot have?
Oh my God!
He's done. He's done.
I want to ask him this.
Okay, all right. I'll let you ask him. But our question was, Alan.
He's really low on the IQ spectrum here. If you think that you have never thought,
dominance, like really?
No, you don't know. And look, first off, an insult, right, is not an ad hominem. If someone called me a douchebag, that's not an ad hominem. That's just an insult. An ad hom is like, learn what an ad hom is. You have to give an argument to ad hom. I'm not giving an argument. So I'm not ad homing you. I'm just saying, if you look, have you never thought of this when you say we should be having women? So you think that women that are infertile, they're doing something wrong in the world? That's what you think?
No, I think his proposal is if women are infertile, they should not be allowed to get married. Is that what you're saying, Alan?
If a car doesn't work, is it still?
You're not going to answer the question.
Oh my God. It doesn't work. What, you think women have a role to be incubators?
Gas in a car, is it still a car? Yes or no?
You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Look,
I'm dropping this call.
Your view is that women are incubators. I would love to see how many women are actually interested in you in your life, because you are fucking deplorable. No. I'll take heat for this. I don't give a fuck. You are a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. You are a giant piece of shit. I'll take heat. Anyone wants to give me shit for this, that's fine. Fuck yourself. That's garbage. It's such garbage. Why did we entertain that for that much time? Oh, here's the recap, everybody. Oh, I assume Christianity's value. I have no argument that does anything other than assume the values in contention. But at the end of it, I'm going to say that I'm a misogynistic piece of shit that thinks that women are incubators and that if you're infertile, you're getting facts wrong about the world. Fuck you.
I can't say that I disagree with you. Let's put it that way. I will add to that. The reason that I like to let those calls go on is twofold. One, again, I'm a rubber hits the road guy. This is a rising sentiment on the conservative right, and it is a real threat to American democracy. He is not wrong when he is saying that these concepts underlie the concept of Christian nationalism in the United States. This is what we are seeing. An increase, especially amongst young people who were raised on Joe Rogan and now Nick Fuentes. There's an open debate amongst conservatives. There's an open debate amongst conservatives in the United States as to whether Nazism should be allowed amongst their circle. Like, that's an public debate that's happening. And this is the stuff that's fueling the fire. So rather than cut it off. I do like to give it some oxygen so people can hear how vacuous it is. Like I can't agree with you more, JMike. We started with, okay, why? And his answer was, because I like it. And then when we said, why do you like it? He proceeded to talk about property law and all that stuff. And I was waiting for him to go back. My question was going to be, okay, well, under the Bible, women are property. That's, rape is a property crime under the Bible. Is that what you're talking about? It's not a low chance that I think he would have said yes. And I was trying to get to that point. But that's why I like to give this air. And people should be aware of this. This is one of the reasons I do what I do. Is this is not uncommon. Like, you go amongst certain conservatives groups, this is being preached from the pulpit. This is being preached in the halls of Congress. This is being preached everywhere as an illogical rationale for why we should do something. And the code, the answer reading below the surface is because I, as a male, a theoretically voting male, property owning male, whatever, want it, which is what he said. And it's infuriating. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. It's despicable. Go ahead.
And by the way, for the caller, if they're still listening, your reasonings were like, let's just assume you never said that. Your entire argument was assuming the values in question and just going, I think I prefer that.
Right.
And you knew that you couldn't even give an argument. Like you were, in my opinion, as it seems expected upon the hypothesis of somebody terrified to have Christianity be true as part of their argument. He wanted to do this weird thing where, let's just say it's not true. I just think that's expected upon the hypothesis that somebody's terrified to justify their position outright, right? That you have to kind of be like, well, I think the values are good. I can't actually argue for the position at all. That would actually be the truth maker for those moral facts.
Right.
You gave up at the beginning of your call. You gave up. I was in the history of the worst argument anyone's ever told me, ever.
I was waiting. I was trying to almost steel man a little bit. I was waiting for us to get to that focus on the family level of argument.
Graham, yeah, sorry. You're so much more calmer than me. I was pissed off the second that guy started. I was like, oh my God. I'm not saying
your approach is better or worse. I'm just trying to explain, I was waiting for a sophisticated, he's just bad at telling us how we got there. But the argument is the shit that we heard in the Supreme Court arguments for gay marriage, right? Yeah. Every single argument went back at the end to because the Bible says so. Only people that can procreate. Okay, so infertile people can't get married. People who are not willing to have kids can't get married. That all gets shot down, and you're left with, I don't like it. It's creepy, and the Bible says so. And I was waiting for that level of utilitarianism. There's more disease, there's mental health, we don't want them to raise, all of these arguments have been litigated and shot down as being just, I believe in Yahweh. And that's why we have gay marriage in the United States now, is because the conservative Supreme Court still at that time said, well, that's not a good reason to deny somebody civil rights. So that's been adjudicated. I was waiting for something more, some other broader, something you'd see from PragerU, bullshit propaganda about why staying at home is a good thing for the economy or something. But nope, it's just, I want baby makers.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I can't believe somebody walks around with a head like that on their shoulders, but whatever.
Well, yeah, I started wondering about trolling at the end there because of the sheer fury that was going on. I hope that he's okay. we do have other calls. I wanted to take a few announcements here while we sort of come down off of that parachute ride.
I wish the best for you, and I can tell you what I mean by the best or better, and that's you to give up these garbage bullshit values and join the rest of society that cares about another. You fucking
yeah.
Oh man.